Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm having to keep it down just a little bit. Got people asleep, but we had our little market pullback. Looks like we're at 310 XRP right now. We're going to go over all of this. The market is still at 3.86 trillion, and this would probably, since I got in this, it would probably be the 20 to 30th, one day pullback like this that I've seen. I've seen far worse. The worst that I remember was when the market got down to 100 billion back in, I think it was 2018-19. And that's when I really went in and started scooping up XRP. But let's put things in some perspective. First, we've got this 310,000 traders liquidated in 24 hours, wiping out 951 million. But here's perspective for you. This is what the chart has looked like. What did they say here? Over XRP went from 195 to 366, up 92% in 30 days. We just had I think we had a little more than 16%, because here he's showing 312, maybe a little more than that. But that's one thing I wanted to show, and Dom's got it right here. Just say some profit taking. We're still headed into the biggest bull market in history. Now, in the group today at daixrp.com, which is the Patreon, or you can join through YouTube. Click the join button below any of these videos, or you can subscribe through X. In there, we're going to show you what the chart guys are saying about the pullback from yesterday. This just happened. It's funny how this guy he always shows up at the exact wrong time. Jim Cramer, Wall Street's toady.
Morgan weighing lending against crypto assets. Now we got this.
It's happening very fast, and I think that one of the things that I think any of these guys would say is, look, the customers want it. Now, when I had, it's very funny, because everyone says the customers want it, but when I had Michael Miebach on, who's the CEO of MasterCard, he didn't think there was any real demand for it. People want to trade. I think people want to own some as a hedge against the $8 trillion. They want to own a debt. They want to own it for their kids. And you know who else feels that way? Me. I don't want.
That's a big uh-oh. But one of the funniest things I saw was Jim and I replied with an F-U-C-K. Everybody, this guy he always predicts it to the opposite. Now, let's give you a little reminder, because what I see being set up is this Federal Reserve chairman being taken out, and then they're going to lower interest rates. So what you saw yesterday, but it's not just that. It's all the things. The Ripple case is still sitting out there. Any second now, we could see them get rid of the Ripple case. You're going to start to see all the ETF stuff, all the legislation here in the next 60 days. Don't get your eye off the ball here, folks. I know I don't. But remember, when we went up in November from 50 cents all the way up to whatever, 3 something, we spent the next 30 to 60 days or more with pullbacks. I remember it going back down into $1.90 something, and I had gone and scooped up some then. This is like a stair step almost. But what's important is the big picture. Crypto, I'm telling you, I've said it 1,000 times, crypto was created mostly by governments, by the way, to replace the petrodollar system and to strengthen the US dollar. That's still what's going on. But it's important to understand the geopolitics of this thing, because all the green candles and all are irrelevant. This is my logo, literally, for those of you that have never looked up close to my logo, it's a pair of big boy pants. And back in 2018, that's how I got that logo. Some guy created it for me, because this game, until crypto matures, which is a long ways away, or at least 2 to 5 years, where it matures to the point where there's so much liquidity in here that you don't experience this kind of volatility. Till that happens, till it really goes off, it's just part of it. But from the time I got in this, I've had my eyes on the prize, which is the big picture of what's coming. This is Andy Schectman, and he's describing to you what's going on in the big picture. Now, he's not talking about it in the context of crypto. He's talking about it in the context of gold. But gold has everything to do with this.
Okay, let's now go back to the point that you said some of this could potentially be by design to get rid of the global reserve currency status, because in the long run, it's hampering the U.S. economy, it's hindering manufacturing, and we know Trump wants to onshore manufacturing and make the U.S. independent again. That's been a big theme here. And you've said that as the U.S. is looking at the BRICS, creating this gold-backed system, or a system that involves convertibility into gold, that they may be thinking, if we can't beat them, we have to join them.
Yeah.
You've been saying that perhaps the U.S. is taking a look at this and making moves to bolster its own gold positions.
Yeah, I think in essence...
And bring gold back into the U.S. system in one way or another.
Yeah, the way they bring it back is not to back the currency. I think they're going to sacrifice the currency. They're going to destroy the currency to pay down the debt. Look, we have $28 trillion in debt that comes in Treasury due, maturing Treasuries in 3 years in 2028. We take in $5 trillion a year in tax revenue. He wants to lower tax revenue, yet his spending is increasing. You can't do both. If you lower taxes, you got to lower spending. You can't raise spending, lower taxes. But if we have 28 trillion, let's say he doesn't even lower taxes, 28 trillion due in 3 years with 15 trillion in tax revenue coming in, you're halfway there. Doesn't take into account all the spending we're doing over the next 3 years. We're in trouble. That's a big, for certain, that's a trouble. And they're going to inflate the currency. I believe they're going to destroy the currency.
I believe they're going to inflate crypto.
It is the only way that they can pay down this debt. There has never been a country that's crossed 130% debt to GDP that hasn't outright defaulted or hyperinflated. We're at 125% if you only count the 37 trillion, not the unfunded liabilities. And the ultimate goal of this, Michelle, in my opinion, see, you can inflate, you can default, or there's a third option, which is like a soft default on the dollar, not on the treasury market. You take that out of the equation and put gold there. You revalue the price of gold, let them pull the gold out at maturity. You now have very, 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 very low borrowing costs to hopefully over time reshore your manufacturing and to grow your way out of this problem instead of defaulting or hyperinflating. Yes, it's unconventional, but you know what? Being the world reserve currency indeed was a exorbitant privilege that we squandered. And now, this far down the road, we have very few options that don't lead to massively higher interest rates, which blow up the entire system. This might just work.
Okay, so look at what's going on. This is Trump in the Oval Office talking about Jerome Powell. They are setting the stage, folks.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell should resign.
I think he's done a bad job, but he's going to be out pretty soon anyway. In eight months, he'll be out. But I call him too late. He's too late all the time. He should have lowered interest rates many times. Europe lowered their rate 10 times. We lowered ours none. And it's causing a problem for people who want to buy a home. Look, our economy is so strong now, we're blowing through everything. We're setting records. You know that, you see that. And whether it's the Philippines or anything else, we're setting records at levels that nobody's ever seen before. But you know what? People aren't able to buy a house because this guy is a numbskull. He keeps the rates too high, and probably doing it for political reasons. The only time I remember him cutting rates, I mean, he cut the rates just before the election to try and help Kamala or whoever he was trying to help.
And then, so Trump's creating all of this pressure on the Fed to cut rates, and then says Trump. This is from the Wall Street Journal reporter. Trump's going to the Federal Reserve tomorrow, according to schedules. Only 3 presidents have visited the Fed. FDR, when its HQ building opened in 1938. Ford, when a buddy of his became governor. And George W. Bush for the swearing in of Ben Bernanke. Brad Garlinghouse In the midst of all the regulatory goodness last Friday, Blue Chip ranked RLUSD #1 most trusted stablecoin in the market. And I just wanted to go over this. Brad Garlinghouse, like clockwork with successive market rallies, Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse are putting out just a notice of the increase in scams. You've all seen them. If you go to YouTube, you'll see all these people that have these AI videos, and they put out I've even seen them with an AI Brad Garlinghouse talking about XRP giveaways, and watch out for that. That's all a scam. Ripple's not gonna offer to take your XRP or give away XRP. So just understand, all these scams ramp up every time the market gets like this. And anytime you see the market going up, the scammers, that just means more money for them to steal from you. So be careful out there. Then we had Goldman Sachs BNY set to announce they've created ability for institutional investors to purchase tokenized money market funds. Writing's on the wall, folks. Now, John Deaton did a Spaces last night on to give a link to update. He also has added his application here. Oh shoot, let's see. Okay, yeah. If you want to join John's link to class action bankruptcy case, I haven't had a chance to go and do it myself, but I am most likely going to go join this myself. But he's got the link. If you just go to his profile and you can join the link. If you're linked to investors such as myself, go join. And then here is this is the Treasury Secretary. This big picture stuff is the stuff to keep your eyes on, folks, because everything's going to change on a dime when these guys get rid of this Federal Reserve. But actually, I'm not going to play this one. This is the tariff stuff. I'm going to go ahead and the point is here that after all of that short term, everybody trying to scare everybody about tariffs and the markets got scared, now all of a sudden they've brought in nearly $100 billion in tariff revenue so far and are on track for $300 billion this year. The adults are in the process of fixing this country while everybody whines about the short-term pain that no other politicians had the guts to put us through in order to do what was right for this country all these years. And they're doing it. Now, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com. I'm going to show you what the chart people are saying about XRP with the recent pullback. And we're going to talk about other stuff too. You can join through YouTube by clicking the join button below any of my YouTube videos, or you can hit the subscribe button on X to get the extended videos with no commercials. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.